Here's the ugly truth. Most projects don't fail at the finish line. They fail right at the start. Why? Because nobody stopped to ask, is this project even worth doing? Is it desirable? Is it feasible? And will it make an impact? In this video, I'll walk you through a 3-point framework to make sure you never waste time on a doomed project again. Hi, I'm Dr. Wing Lam, and on this channel, I share practical strategies to help you manage projects with clarity and confidence without the fluff. Let's dive in. Did you know that according to a 2020 report by the Boston Consulting Group, shockingly only 30% of digital transformation projects succeed? The remaining 70% are considered a worry or a woe, meaning that even if the project was completed, it delivered less value than promised. So the real question is, was the project even worth it in the first place? In the IT industry, which I'm most familiar with, project failure is not uncommon, but this advice applies to projects across all industries. Let's be clear, there are no guarantees of project success, but what we can do is position ourselves for the best possible outcome. Think about projects as having two main stages: selection and execution. Choosing the right project sets the foundation for success. If we pick a winning project and execute it effectively, the results are likely positive. But even a great project can fail if not executed properly. On the other hand, selecting a losing project means the outcome will probably be negative, regardless of how well we execute. Success depends on both choosing wisely and executing well. So how do we avoid projects that are almost destined to fail? And how do we pick winning projects? Well, it all starts with the project proposal. Don't think about starting any project unless there's a written proposal. Never rely on verbal agreements or sketchy emails. If you're about to spend millions, even tens of millions of dollars on a project, it would be irresponsible not to have a written project proposal. Now here's where the work begins. Once you have a written project proposal, use this 3-point framework. A winning project has 3 important qualities. First, it's desirable. Second, it's feasible. And third, it's impactful. It's the intersection of the 3 rings that you see on this Venn diagram. We're going to go into more detail on these 3 qualities, but let me give a quick explanation. A desirable project is one where there is strong stakeholder support, where people agree it's a project they should go ahead with. A feasible project is one that is realistic and doable given the budget, timeline, and other resources. An impactful project is one that will actually deliver on its promised benefits and outcomes. Now, to apply the 3-point framework in practice, we need to start digging for more information and evidence. To determine if a project is desirable, look for a committed project sponsor or owner. Ensure there is alignment among stakeholders with no disagreements or conflicting ideas. Confirm that end users have been consulted, as their input is crucial. Remember, management may think a project is a good idea, but the end users who will operate or live with the finished project often have insights that others don't. Also, verify that the intended beneficiaries of the project have been involved in the decision-making. Finally, check for formal sign-off from key stakeholders and public support for the project, not just behind-the-scenes agreements. To determine if a project is feasible, start by reviewing a complete project scope to ensure it's well thought out. Check for a realistic project plan with clear milestones. Verify the resource list, including people and their skills. Look at the financial breakdown and overall budget. Make sure compliance checks have been done to identify any regulatory hurdles and technical checks to uncover potential technical challenges. Ensure a risk assessment has been carried out, highlighting key risks and mitigation strategies. If vendors are involved, evaluate their experience and review relevant case studies. Compare the project with industry benchmarks for similar initiatives. It can be helpful to obtain estimates from multiple vendors, as one would normally expect them to be in the same ballpark. Finally, consider who prepared the information. If a vendor compiled it, ensure it has been properly vetted, and for large projects, look for independent reviews to validate the data, or at least to offer a second professional opinion. Now, a recurring theme that I've seen on IT projects in particular is that projects fail because they deliver less value than promised. This is why it's important to assess whether a project is impactful. Ensure your project has a clear vision aligned with a specific business problem. Make sure there's a compelling business case with a calculated return on investment that justifies funding, particularly when you're comparing it against other potential projects. Check that there are measurable project benefits and clear deliverables and outcomes. Be cautious of inflated estimates in proposals. Make sure numbers and business cases are independently reviewed, especially for large investments. As you can see, this is not just a tick box process. The 3-point framework requires thoughtful management decision making. You need to analyze the available data and evidence to assess whether a project is desirable, feasible, and impactful. Now, if you don't find the data and evidence sufficiently convincing, that should serve as a red flag that you need to be wary of. Let's explore scenarios where a project has only two of these qualities. If a project is desirable and feasible but not impactful, it's like a white or grey elephant, delivering less value than promised. If a project is desirable and impactful but not feasible, it's a high-risk project that will overrun budgets and timelines, or even get cancelled midway. Finally, if a project is feasible and impactful but not desirable, it indicates management's focus may be on other higher priority initiatives within the organization. Okay, let's wrap this up. If you want to avoid projects doomed to fail and identify the winners, the 3-point framework will save you a lot of time and money. If you have any other tips for spotting winning projects, share them in the comments below. And if you want more helpful content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.